under the pale moonlight. Vinny and Phil bring the shadows to life. Tales of the ghostly whispers in the night. Bigfoot and aliens ready for the strife. The darkness thickens, the air is cold. Haunting stories waiting to unfold. Supernatural Sundays, the veil is thin. Join us in the chaos, let the night begin. With every whisper and each chilling tale, dare to believe where shadows prevail. EVPs echo through the haunted trees. Demons lurk as the chill hits with ease. But the caps rolling with gets to amaze. Cryptids and spirits were lost in the haze. Northmen in the foliage, watch your back. Dogmen prowling, ready to attack. Supernatural Sundays, the veil is thin. Join us in the chaos, let the night begin. With every whisper and each chilling tale, dare to believe where shadows prevail. Moving in the foliage, watch your back. Dark prowling, ready to attack. Supernatural Sundays, the veil is thin. Join us in the chaos, let the night begin. With every whisper and each chilling tale, dare to believe where shadows prevail. So tune in next week, fear in your soul. Darkness awaits, let the stories unfold.
Welcome to Supernatural Sundays, March 22nd edition. We got some new audio equipment I'm testing out, so hopefully you'll be able to hear me for this week. We went on an investigation yesterday out in Bee Springs. Shout out to Jessica out there. Doing a little cryptid research and some paranormal. Had some trail cams set up for about a week. We got some nice, some sticks moving with the wind blowing them, and ran into a few horses out there. It's all right, I don't have any crazy cryptid stories, but Had a pretty bad cold snap last week. It actually snowed a couple times, so we're going to leave those trail cams back out there. Let them go some more. See if we come up with any cool stuff out there. Bee Springs, come on. They call them holler goblins up there. They're the Bigfoots. They're holler goblins. We got I just want to start off this week. We got some sad news. We lost one of our action heroes, Chuck Norris. One of my favorite movies of his was the Silent Rage. I don't know if anybody's ever seen Silent Rage, but it's almost like a Frankenstein kind of thing, like a zombie kind of thing. This guy, he ends up like dying, and somehow they bring him back, and something went wrong, and like it cut this guy, and he heals instantly. And every time Chuck Norris tries to kill him, he keeps resurrecting, and he has to keep fighting through the whole movie. Silent Rage. My other favorite one would be Lone Wolf McQuade, which I think was loosely what Walker was based on. But I really enjoyed the Walker Texas Ranger. So, what you're going to do when the eyes of a ranger are watching you? So, here's a little bit of Chuck Norris for you this week.
Hi, Dad. What are you doing?
Just warming up.
Oh, I see that. All right, you have fun.
Sure will.
And I bent down and I petted him, and all of a sudden you heard this like that. So the trainer says, get up very slowly and back up. So the tiger did. He slowly got up and backed out.
Did you know I got bit by a king cobra? And after 5 days of agonizing pain, the cobra died.
Did you know that I can build a snowman out of rain?
I hear that when you do a push-up, you're not really pushing yourself up. You're pushing the earth down.
Correct. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Chuck's beliefs were on the paranormal, but that movie Silent Rage, he definitely deals with some supernatural kind of stuff there. He likes sci-fi. Well, let's get into this week's news. We've got some cryptid stuff, got some UFO, got some alien stuff going on, and let's check it out. I wanted to mention, so people claim there's different things can get attachments to them, like different, haunted objects and whatnot. So I've been trying out different dolls and whatnot, and this little girl over here, I believe her name's Addie. She was setting up cat balls like 3 weeks in a row. I took her little friend away. They're like a set, and then everything stopped. So tonight, and I had another girl over here. Maybe she'll get jealous of her. Maybe she'll want to talk with her little buddy here. But they're this plaid outfit they got on. It's called a tartan. I think it's like Scottish, Irish. Got called a tartan. The Irish people out there, Scottish people, correctly dress or whatever it's called, a tartan. So. You gonna do anything tonight? So we've got a couple meters over here. We got the K2s, which pick up the electromagnetic energy, and we hit the cat ball. So if anything moves over there, the cat ball's gonna go off. So you guys keep an eye on those. We got some new equipment I'm testing out this week. Got a new soundboard. I'm on my third soundboard. Something. Maybe it's because I deal with paranormal stuff. It's eating my equipment. All right, let's get into it. So this guy was setting up some equipment, and what you want to do is look at the upper left-hand corner, and he was out getting his trail cam going and get some eye shot. Something's looking at him. I'm gonna play this one more time. I don't know if you can see my cursor. I'm gonna try to point it out. Upper left-hand corner. Watch for the eye shine. He don't know I think it's some kind of cryptid out there. So we'll see what's going on. I don't know if that dude even noticed that until later, but it was pretty messed up. Okay, this one, I think this could be AI. There's some people saying it's not. I'm calling 100% AI. I've never seen it like this. I'm thinking it's a nice AI image of a Wendigo, which is like kind of like a deer creature that kind of walks around. They can walk upright. They're real skinny looking. They're kind of creepy looking. So check this out.
Take on. Don't look up here. Please don't look up here. Oh God. Keep going. Keep going. Oh God, that's it. That's it right there. Don't look up. Don't look up. It's sniffing. It knows something's here. Please keep walking.
I think you get a kick out of that. Creepy. But yeah, that I think so skinny. I think you probably just smack it with a stick and knock it over. But if it's dead and still running around, that's kind of creepy in itself, you know. Let's see here. This one here is just like an old tired old Sasquatch. He looking pretty tired. Yeah, that was looking pretty fake. Yeah, I think that was just made up stuff there. But interesting what people are coming up with all this AI stuff. Sometimes you can't tell if it's real or AI, but you're dealing with cryptids, you don't know if it's AI or not. There's a big controversy out there this week. The original Patty Bigfoot film. It was shot on like old, I think it was like one step up from an 8mm. I'm trying to think if it's like 16mm where it was. It was really old camera. It's a little bit blurry, shaky. The original Patty film, Brush Creek. They call it Patty because his name was Patterson, and then you got Bob Gimlin. Patterson's passed away. But there's this new controversy. His son is involved, his widow, and they're trying to say they got some evidence that it was a hoax. And a lot of people, a lot of experts looked at that film and said, you know, back in the day, they could have made costumes that looked that real, and they've got some evidence. It looks like they had the costume. They're doing like a pre-run for the video, but some other experts weighed in and said, you know, when they were doing the publicity tour to show the film, they had a costume. They actually going out making like commercials. You know, they put on a costume and go out and make commercials. So A lot of the Bigfoot researchers, they knew there was a costume on, but nobody's ever thought it was used in the Patty film was original footage of, and you're talking miles, any road or any, civilization, they rode horses, way out there. And the likelihood of the costume they're saying, they think this has all happened after. If they look at the time frame, the timestamp, it's hard to time date that kind of footage of old film. They're trying to say basically the costume came out after the original filming, and that the film stands as it is original footage. And if there was any kind of hoax, Bob Gimlin, he's a pretty stand-up guy. A lot of researchers know him, and they're like, if there was something going on, he didn't. But to him, everything was a real encounter. So the film was supposed to come out Thursday, and when you go to pull it up on the Roku, there it's like not available. All of a sudden, it's like not available. So we don't know what's going on, but a lot of different experts have weighed in, and they're thinking it's just a publicity stunt. But, I haven't seen it. I'll give you all my opinion once I see it, but there's a lot of people out there experiencing stuff. And I think even if it is proven to be a hoax or not, people aren't going to stop looking and researching. There's just too many encounters people have had with unknown cryptids out there, So we're going to keep looking. We still got trail cams out. We're still going out and see what's going on. We want to identify what's. My thoughts are, we're going to keep looking. In my lifetime, I think I'll see a Bigfoot or a dog man or any kind of cryptid. Probably not. Because people that see them aren't looking. It's a chance encounter, like paranormal. You're looking for ghosts. You got all this equipment. You don't see anything, and then now that just one afternoon, you look over and there's something there you weren't planning on. So, I think I'm probably more likely to run into a feral hog than anything, especially like Land Twin Lakes right now. They're having the feral hogs are moving in there. So if you go out there, be careful. There's a lot of stuff out there that could hurt you besides the elusive cryptids that we're all trying to find evidence of. And, there's paranormal stuff too. But in the last few times we went out, our biggest obstacles are ticks. I think last week Jeff had 6 of them on him. I had 3 on me last night, and I think Kim girl had a tick on her too. And she didn't even go in the woods; she was just close. So ticks are really bad this year. Everybody, just be careful. Put on your DEET, put on your Promethean. Check yourself. When you get out of the woods, check yourself again when you get home, because they might crawl off your equipment, whatever. We don't want anybody getting alpha-gal or Lyme disease. I know some people that are struggling, that got bit, and it's a bad deal, especially, Lyme disease is very debilitating. They got to flush you with a lot of antibiotics. It wears you down because your body's flushing out the spirochetes. It's like a little corkscrew bacteria. It's in wherever part of your body gets into your brain or organs or whatever, it can affect you. So be careful out there. Alpha-gal, you may not be able to eat beef. I got a friend of mine. He can't eat chicken. He's got like a different form of it. So just be careful out there, everybody. The ticks are really bad this year. With that said, let's see if I have enough quick. This is a lady who just kind of want to know what is it. She put this out on TikTok. She wants people to look at this and try to help her figure out what it is. So we're going to put it out there to everybody. So check it out.
Okay, so we all see those videos all the time of people posting their security camera footage, and they're like, is this a ghost? Well, I'm going to ask you the same thing. So I had a weird thing happen the other night, actually, Friday the 13th at 2:37 a.m. It was one of our security cameras in the front of our house. It is flanked by 2 lights, so the infrared isn't on. And there was no wind at all, and you can see our flag in the front of the house in the shot. It's not moving at all. We had a storm earlier in the day, and there had been some wind, but it was calm. We've lived in this home for over 2 years. I've never seen anything like this on the camera. We do, especially in the summertime, get bugs that go on the camera lens every once in a while, and they just full on look like bugs. It's not even up for debate. They look like bugs. We've had birds. You can always tell what it is. This thing is weird because at first I'm like, is it a piece of pollen? But like I said, it's a covered porch. There was no wind, and I have noticed some pollen around, but it's not, the worst it gets here in the southeast. But the thing that's weird is like it's transparent and then it disappears before it gets to the ceiling, which is paint blue, by the way. It disappears, and I've looked at it so many times. I've zoomed in, and I can't figure out if it's just a piece of dust or if it's something else. So I'm going to let you all decide, and you can chime in the comments and tell me if it's just dust or if there's something else going on outside and my paint blue paint is working.
Interesting. Kind of like a little orb looking thing there flying up on the porch. It didn't look like a bug. It wasn't kind of behaving like dust. I don't know. Maybe like some kind of pollen, like one of them dandelion things, blow one on it, go everywhere. Puffball kind of things. I don't know. Let's see. That was on her footage off her security cam. This one is we got some. I love these trail cams. We're hoping to get some cool stuff from our trail cam. This is some trail cam footage, allegedly. Wow. I don't know if that's Sacandaga or Sacandaga, New York. You live up in that New York area, that'd be cool. Let us know. We'd like to talk to somebody if that's your footage, what you're experiencing up there. The thing, it didn't look stable or anything like that. It just, one looked like checking out a tent, but that other one, the trail cam, it just looked like it kind of, like maybe it knew there was a camera, and it was like, what's that? It's a camera. Let's see if I got any more. Okay, we got some more. We got some more cryptic stuff going on. I'm gonna call this thing Birdman. It's like a tall, skinny thing, like a bird head. And I had a clip a while back from Missouri. They were seeing something like this. So it's another one of these don't know if somebody the AI created these things or what, but it's like some kind of skinny Birdman looking thing. See what you guys think.
Figure isn't hopping and it isn't flying. It's walking upright like a human. And when you look closely at its feet, they don't resemble claws at all. They look disturbingly human. The entire body is pitch black, tall and thin, and it appears to be holding some kind of curved object that many people say looks like a scythe. After the video was posted, the comments exploded. Some viewers believe it's a symbol of death, while others say it could be one of the unknown entities long rumored to exist.
Okay. I think I was all over the place. He had a kite. He had looked like an orc, ogre, and he had that skinny bird thing. So I'm calling BS on that all AI stuff. So and then we've talked about these Nephilim before, the Nephilim or Nephilim. Anyway, they supposedly a long time ago there were some angels came down and they procreated with humans and their offspring was Nephilim. There's been several different stories where the soldiers in Afghanistan encountered one of these in a cave. They had a battle, and I think some of them died. They finally killed it. There's been different stories like leak, this thing weighed 1,100 pounds. Pilots kind of leaked it, talking about it. Different soldiers. So this is another story around that same concept of the film. And here we go.
Out of the cave comes a 12-foot giant, screaming, red hair, spear in his hand, and he's like enraged. He's like shaking, and this is the stuff of a nightmare. I mean, no one expects to see a 12-foot giant with flaming red hair holding a spear, threatening them, and so before anybody can do anything, everyone's kind of frozen. And they kind of finally break out of their stupor. One of these guys starts firing at the giant and running towards him, firing at him. Well, the giant moves with such agility and speed that everyone is taken aback. And he spears this guy and lifts him up. And he's yelling at the top of his lungs. Someone yells, "Shoot him in the head, shoot him in the head." So the rest of the patrol, they've got all this weaponry. They start firing. And they almost decapitated. The giant goes down. At this point, the stench from the giant is overwhelming. People are beginning to throw up. That's how, this is the stuff of nightmares. You sure you guys want to listen to this? At least it's daytime.
It's the Monday talk.
It's Monday talk, yeah, but you're going to go home and go, "Oh, I'm scared, Mom, no. Maybe the giant's going to come to me." So, that's not going to happen, all right? So, the giant goes down, double rows of teeth, red hair, 6 fingers, 6 toes. A helicopter comes, big Chinook thing, picks this thing up, they net it, picks it up, and when they go back and write their report, they're told to rewrite it and eliminate the dragon. So that's witness number 1. I've had another witness, number 2, who was there in the Kandahar province the year later, and the rumors were all around the base about the killing of it.
Yeah, I've heard several stories about that. I think the 3rd or 4th one, so pretty compelling. I don't know. They've always got 2 rows of teeth, 6 fingers, 6 toes, and red hair. Giant every time. So that's pretty crazy. We're just jumping around here a little bit. You guys ready for these dogs aren't doing anything, so let's see if somebody else's dog doing something. Here we go. That cat was tearing that thing up. I gotta see that again. I want to see that cat in action. Here we go. One more live action with the kitty cat. Thanks to Horror Fang EX for that contribution. It almost looked like it was trying to get away when he saw the cat. I don't know. Somebody didn't see a string or anything. The cat did not like it. I don't know what my dog would do if he saw something move. He might growl at it or bark at it or something. Let's see here. If you guys ever been on an investigation that had a disembodied voice where you're out in the you hear something, actually a voice like something talking, that's called disembodied. And if you pick it up on your equipment, that's a double confirmation, verification. But if you just hear it, whether you got equipment going or not, you hear it, there's nobody there, disembodied voice. The location we went to yesterday up in Beach Springs, they keep hearing stuff going on in the woods, different noises. We heard an owl, we heard some stuff screeching, could have been an ant or a cat, we don't know. Heard some coyotes. But then there was one guy, we heard a guy hollering, and I was out there in the woods, and I looked up through the woods and I seen this horse. There was a horse. And then pretty soon there was like 3 or 4 more horses. I think that gentleman was hollering for his horses. But then later on, in a different part of the woods, across the woods, we hear a guy hollering for his dog. And the homeowner, she told us that, from what she's been told in the history of the area, there was a lady who passed away down in the woods with her dog. And she froze. I believe she froze to death down there. The husband couldn't find her. It was a bad snowstorm. And I think maybe that's him hollering for his dog. But several times we heard somebody hollering for the dog. And it almost sounded like he was yelling Harvey or Harley. She didn't want us to come out and try to figure out what's going on. Is there a person out here? I hear a disembodied voice hollering for this dog. So we got that, and then there's some cryptid kind of activity going on with something tapping on her house. And just a little eerie feeling out behind there. So we got trail cam set, and we'll probably go back here in another week or so, check trail cams again. We may just keep investigating this area, see if we can figure out what's going on. Sometimes it's something logical, and other times it's not. And so we've been kind of having fun with that. Had the whole team come out last night. Thanks for the team coming out. We got some team members. They're up in Indiana. We got some folks in Louisville. We got Hardyville, Greenville, and I'm in Bowling Green. So everybody came together last night. So pretty good time. Thanks, Miss Jessica, for feeding us last night. That's always nice on investigation when the client, homeowner, whoever will cook you up some food. So that was awesome. Appreciate that. So here's our video this week on disembodied voice. Let's roll that again. It almost sounds like a lady humming in the background. Wow. Okay. There's a mausoleum, I think, up in Indianapolis. And my Uncle Jeff, shout out to Uncle Jeff, he's been up there, and they have reports of hearing some disembodied voices and some weird activity going on up there. Another thing that people run into occasionally on investigation is a shadow person. And I've got 2 different videos this week on shadow people. And just from my own experience, I've encountered two different types. There's the one where you're not really on an investigation, you're not looking, you're just kind of hanging out, you've got a corner of your eye and you look like a person just walking up. Sometimes they just do their thing over and over and over, like a residual haunting. It's just like an energy, like a film loop. It just keeps going, repeating over and over and over. Then there's other ones that come up and like look at you, like, you know, interactive, intelligent type thing. So those are, you know, it's one kind of shadow person. Looks kind of like a person who walk around. Then there's other ones that just they're kind of humanoid shape, but they jump around, climb up the wall, do some crazy stuff. That's kind of like the one Art Bell was seeing a few weeks before he passed away. I don't know if you guys familiar with Art Bell. He used to do Coast to Coast After Dark radio show, paranormal. A lot of us guys that used to, you know, work nights, drive truck back in the day, whatnot, would listen to Art, you know, and he would have some really cool, interesting guests. You know, he did all things paranormal, conspiracy theories, that kind of stuff, and he was seeing one, and like you can see it in the reflection. It was like his computer screen behind him and running around. And then there's another type that I think this one's more personal. And, you know, if you wake up in the middle of the night, look up and you see it on your ceiling, and it'll look like a mist, like a black. It'll be darker than the night. Like you would wake up and it see it's darker than your bedroom, whatever. And a lot of times they kind of look like they're just kind of floating around. It'll be like a mist, kind of wispy, and then sometimes they're just there, kind of like hovering around, looking at you. And I don't know if they're there to check on somebody or they're there to take somebody. And like if they're really bad health, like it's time to go, maybe. And usually something like that, you can just, you know, yell at it, it'll leave, you know, you hope it'll leave. But those type are probably a little more creepy because it'll wake you up, you look up, it's darker than the night. If you've ever experienced anything like that, move, the thing will look at you, and, you know, once it knows you see it, usually it'll haul ass, take off out of it. Those are different types that people encounter. If there's another type of shadow, person, creature, anything out there you guys encountered, want to comment, you know, you can call on our call-in line. We had a couple of callers last week. That was awesome. Appreciate you guys calling in and helping me with some audio issues. I got a new soundboard tonight. Thinking I need to turn the echo down just a bit, but at least it's working. So, anyway, let's get into these shadow people. Okay, I think that's a dog. I think standard red poodle or a golden. I'm gonna roll that one more time. You guys look. You'll see its snout come out, and then I don't know what it is standing up there. Maybe it's a different kind of dog. I think it's a dog. You gotta check it out. I think this is just a dog. Think it definitely. That's definitely real footage, and I think it's just a dog. I don't know what was standing up there. That's what I think. This dog's looking down the floor like he's looking at something. Looks like a poodle. poodle, a doodle, something like that. I got another shadow. This is kind of like I encountered something like this one time. Was not on an investigation. Was not looking for anything. It's like Sunday afternoon. Got up to somebody's house. And I got done eating dinner. I just got to look over. And the one I saw was a bobcat. This was like a shadow of the guy with the bobcat. It was the afternoon. Sun, afternoon sun coming in. They had the front door open, just the storm door. And light coming in. I looked over and I seen him look like a guy. He just kind of like turned. He had a bobcat, like turned his head. I'm like, oh, somebody's at the door and everybody's taking a nap. What's I do? I go to the door and look out. Nobody there. Maybe he just, knocked and left. I go out and I look all up and down the sidewalk. Nobody there. I went back, sat back on the couch, and I thought about it. I'm like, what did I just see? I'm like, wait a minute. It was a little too interactive just to be like, I thought somebody was at the door. I see the shadow of the ball cap. I'm like, oh, some older gentleman with a hat on his way up walking. I found out later that a gentleman passed away in the next room when I was sitting in. He passed away at home from cancer. The family was there and everything. And maybe he was still hanging around, And so I saw it. I still, thought somebody was at the door. But the more I thought about it, I was like, what did I just see? So people sometimes encounter different things, like the shadow of a person, whatever. And then there's other ones where they see, clothing. They tell you what color the hat was, clothing, or whatever. So all different types of things people experience. Maybe it depends on your level of sensitivity. But the thing I saw, like I said, I thought somebody was at the door. But anyway, this one here kind of reminded me of that because this one's definitely wearing a hat.
Did he encounter a shadow figure? A video posted to TikTok showed a man frantically panicked as he was filming an array of paranormal activity in his household. This is his footage. In what's believed to be a shadow figure caught on camera. The figure resembles the infamous Hat Man, a figure known to be seen during sleep paralysis, but further the video can easily a hoax. It can be a cutout of one, or even a friend dressed as one. What do you think? Thank you for tuning into Wicker Static. We upload on TikTok and YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Further, we upload full stories on our YouTube. A link will be provided in the description of each video. If you have an experience you'd like to share, or photographs or video, you can email us at nightwavecommunications@outlook.com.
Thanks, Wicker Static, for that post. I don't know if they fake or not, but that's kind of like how it happened when I saw it. I thought somebody at the door. It's there, and then it's gone that quick. It's like, by the time you get ready to go check it out, he's done and gone. So, I don't know. This guy's having some weird stuff going on. And he's got a pretty creepy looking handprint. And we've ran into some stuff like this before, but not on like a mirror or window. Let's just say when you go on an investigation, you want to use a lot of different tools at your arsenal. One of the things we use from time to time is the UV light, ultraviolet light. Sometimes you can see stuff that you can't see until you hit it with UV light. And I'm talking, fluorescent minerals, different rocks, different things will glow under black light, UV light that you can't always see till you hit it with UV light, like uranium glass. Back in the Depression, they made the glass with uranium in it. Fluorescent and fluorite minerals, fluorescent minerals, fluorescent. One of my favorites is Uperlite from like the UP of Michigan. It looks like speckled, like white granite with little black specks. And when you hit UV light, it's like, it looks like fire. It turns orange. So another thing that you can find is bodily fluids. Certain bodily fluids don't always, they might dry clear. You can't always see them, but if you hit them with that UV light, you can see some evidence. People use them in hotels, check for things. Police use them, investigators. Sometimes you leave stuff behind, can't really see till you hit UV light. So you may not want to go into a hotel and see what's in there. You may turn around and go back out and go sleep in the car. So anyway, this handprint, definitely you can see it on mirrors. I've ran into stuff like this before, and it's really hard to explain because it doesn't look like a regular hand. Fingers, they'll be slender. Sometimes they'll actually have claws. We've actually found stuff that almost look canine, almost, on investigations where I'm like, did somebody get the dog and dip their hand in something, their paw, and smack it on the wall? But this is very similar to some stuff we've ran across before. It's very hard to explain. Check it out.
Okay, y'all, I got something really creepy going on at my house. And I'm not making this up because I don't make up stories like this. You see that handprint? That looks like a bony, skeletal handprint. If you get around here and look at it, there's another one over there. It's like, you can't, but that mirror's streaky and I was gonna clean it, but it streaked up last time I cleaned it. You know how mirrors are hard to get clean. But anyway, that looks like white powder. And the only people, my nephew is staying with me, he stays in the basement, and he's got a little boy. That handprint's too great big, it's as big as my hand. Okay? He hasn't touched it, his little boy hasn't touched it, I haven't touched it. I don't know of a soul that's been here that's touched that mirror. So, have you ever had anything like that happen to you? I mean, over there's one that looks just like it, but it's not as much. It's like part of the handprint, which is weird as frig. I don't know if I can get it from right here. Can you see it? You see that? I mean, what the frig is that? Have you ever had anything like that happen in your house? Please comment and let me know. Because this is the weirdest freaking thing I've ever seen. And I don't know whether it's something evil or what, but I mean, I don't know if I believe in stuff like that or not. I question it, and I'm not saying I don't believe, and I'm not saying I do believe. I believe there's spirits, but why would they leave a handprint? That is freaking totally creepy looking to me. It looks like bones, the fingers do. I'm not lying. I mean, or long fingernails on top, like a woman's hand. You can see the tips of the fingers. Look. See, that don't even make sense. And how crooked the fingers are. So, I just wanted to get that out there. Anyway, comment and let me know what you think, okay? I really appreciate the input. Thanks.
That's pretty crazy. On a regular hand would have more like fingerprints and stuff. It's too skinny for that. And, I don't know anybody who's going to be going around with skeleton hands, touching stuff. But you can see like all the little bone structure going on. I'm just wondering if somebody's messing with that band, like they got some kind of stencil, they dip it in, something on there, but it wasn't real smudgy or anything. It's almost like it's Pretty much it was a sticker or something like that. It was, almost it's like painted on there. And the way the fingers curve, that's kind of like not natural. Oh, hold on, we're getting the caller. Hello? Hey, you're on the air. Yeah, you're live with the Philbilly on Supernatural Sundays. You got anything you want to? There you go. We got Mr. Later Slater from Illinois on here. Come on. We were just talking about this guy had a thing on his mirror, and it was like a bony handprint. And we got some other stuff coming up here. So talking about some shadow people. How's it going over there? Y'all getting some snow?
Well, we're still part of the frozen Arctic tundra, but we'll probably make it to spring, hopefully by May. I think maybe here in a couple of weeks it's going to break nice. But right now, well, we still get 10 degrees at night and about 38, 40 degrees during the day. It's not quite spring. Getting close.
Hey, you got anything you want to say to my listeners out here on Supernatural Sundays?
I'm going to tell y'all one thing. You're going to start this new year out right. Y'all better remember not to forget. Leave that cowbell in the closet. And then we'll get that more cowbell. Don't wait.
Are you calling to tell me it's time for a little more cowbell?
That's specifically the reason I did come, because I need that, man.
All right, here we go. We're going to play it. Here we go.
I could have used a little more cowbell. Gotta keep that cowbell flying.
Because you can never have enough cowbell. You got to have more cowbell.
It's too quiet. You just got to shake it up. Rattle that thing around the cage.
We were out with cryptids last night and some paranormal stuff. We encountered some guy hollering for his dog. We're still trying to figure out that one. Anything supernatural going on up there in the land of Lincoln, up there in Illinois? Come on.
Well, supernaturally, I'm trying to figure out how this money keeps vanishing out of my wallet. I don't know. That could just be taxes. I don't know.
Well, you keep getting those gas station donuts and them Black and Milds. That's where that money be going. Come on.
Well, what I need to figure out how to do that transcendentally. If I could do that, I wouldn't have to go buy the bus.
Last Labor Day, this is my friend Later Slater, Chad Slater from Illinois. He was with me down in Benton. We went up to the old Benton jailhouse there, where Smiling Charlie Berger was hung, and he was my cameraman and helped me do some commentary. So he's been on investigation with me. We're gonna have to get him out there again some more this year.
Yeah, that was a unique sight. I really enjoyed that. Finding that out there on the edge of where we were at, the woods and that, and finding that jail and the gallows that they still had up there. And then, the German cannon was pretty nice too. That was definitely worth the visit, just to see that old World War II German cannon sitting there. So yeah, it was a nice surprise, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm just wondering if they stole that from Germany or something, or somehow they got it. They still had the German writing insignias on it, like the stampings and everything on it were all in German.
Yeah, that definitely probably had been well in Europe for some time before it made it to the States.
Absolutely.
And I remember Roy kept getting the outlines every time we go over with a spectral analysis. We're picking up a couple interesting. One guy wanted to dance jig, and the other guy just wanted to kind of float in and float out. I remember that.
Yeah, by the monument. There was a monument. We were getting little SLS activity over there. So that was pretty cool. I'd like to go investigate that whole jail. I I haven't been able to find out who to get a hold of and go in there and do it overnight. We like to take the whole team in there and do the whole jail.
You gotta have them lock you up, see if you can survive a night, Benton.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. We're gonna live here and see what kind of experiences, what kind of mojo's floating around in the ancient times, the roaring 20s, and the gangsters that floated through here. That it definitely ancient compared to where we're at now.
Down in that whole little Egypt area of Illinois, they got it was called the Shelton Gang. So Chicago had Al Capone, Babyface, those guys ran Chicago, and then the Shelton Gang ran Southern Illinois, and they would kind of collaborate with the St. Louis gang over there. And then there was another gang in Peoria for a while, the Pekin, Peoria area, but they kind of, I think the other two kind of ganged up and shut them down because they wanted to make sure they had the whole territory. So after they took them out, it was just the northern gang and the southern gang.
Kind of sounded like they did a lot of business going through the St. Louis area once you got the south there, as far as controlling the commerce of the illegal activities that required the old Model T with the Bonnie and Clyde edition Thompson machine gun kind of action.
If you go to the antique store there in Benton, they did have some of the Tommy guns. They had the noose that they hung Smiling Charlie Berger was the last public hanging in Illinois. He was smiling all the way to the end. They had the noose. They had the Tommy guns. They had a bunch of other guns.
They had the car too. Remember they had the car sitting? I think it was like a 28 or 29 Ford, something like that. Like
yeah.
An early model, like a Model T or something like that, sitting there right next to the gallery.
That was a Model T or a Model A. I can't remember, but it was.
Well, it probably was from 20. I wanted to say 28, 29, somewhere like, after they made a lot of the Model Ts, but it still was before the 30s.
It was definitely in good shape.
Yeah, it was. I bet there was some, smacks with that. I'm sure a lot of people have had that in their life, especially if they got around with a Smiling Charlie. I'm sure he drove the hell out of that thing.
I think he had people driving him around, but it was so bad that they had a tunnel going from the courthouse to downtown Benton to the jail, and they would transport the prisoners back and forth under the ground in the tunnel so they didn't get shot at. They have drive-bys, with the Tommy guns, the jailers, and everybody's and the sheriffs getting shot up. So they would transport them in a tunnel. But if you go towards St. Louis, there's a town over there of Okawville. And Okawville, they have the original Mineral Spring Hotel. Still there. Older hotel. One of the original owners had actually committed suicide in the hotel. There's several rooms that are off limits. They won't rent them out. But they see a lady in white in there. But the Shelton gang would have their meetings there. And with the St. Louis gang, they would meet up there. It's like a halfway point. They would go down to the bathhouse. You can go there to this day. You get a mineral spring bath. You get a hot bath, cold bath. If you're staying at the hotel, you can get at least 2 gallons of mineral water. Take it with you, but they won't sell it to you. You have to be staying there. Bring your jugs. They'll fill them up and.
Definitely bring your jugs. That's right. That's something you don't see every day.
Yep, and then we went over there, and there was I think it was bathhouse number 3, about 1 or 2 in the morning. I had a SLS figure come out, looked like he was drying off. I was like, so this has got to be a residual haunting, because it was almost like he would come out about every 15, 20 minutes, look like he was drying off. I was like, I'd hate to think that's what I was doing for the next 100 years. But that mineral water, there was a guy, he was a masseuse, and he drank the mineral water every day. And he lived in St. Louis. He'd drive over there to work every day. He lived to be over 100. And he claims it was due to drinking that mineral water his whole life. And he worked till he was like 94 before he retired. He was still doing massages, but he claimed it was that mineral water. But he never really had any major illnesses or Nothing, any health problems, wasn't on any kind of medications. He just died of old age. But if you ever get a chance to go, Oakville, they've got a nice pizza place in the back of the bar, and the restaurant has wonderful breakfast. I would say it was better than most other places I've been. It puts Cracker Barrel to shame. It was.
Well, you got any hunters that like to get away from it all? I tell you, that's about the best area to be away from traffic and be away from noises and a lot of the pollution and all that. Get away, or fishing or hunting. That's a really good area to kind of clear your mind out, just enjoy yourself. In fact, my cell phone almost didn't work most of the time I was there. I had to go to a special spot of high ground and get away from the trees to actually get bars to show up on my cell phone.
Yeah, what he's talking about is the Wren Lake area, Southern Illinois. They got some Army Corps engineer campgrounds. There's a state campground. The state campground is called Wayne Fitzgerald, and that campground back in I think it was 1993 or 4. There was 2 little 10-year-old girls out walking around. And they found a severed head, and the lady, they never could figure out who she was, and she had what they called wry neck syndrome. They knew her when she was alive. She had a problem with her neck, and it was about 2 or 3 years ago. They went back with DNA, modern techniques. They were able to determine who she was. For a long time, they called her Ina Jane Doe because that was the town of Ina. It was right near there, but they have since figured out who she was. I can't think of her name right now, but anyway, she was a redheaded lady, and the head was redheaded. I feel bad for the little girls that found it. And we did do an investigation over there. I didn't want to go back. I'd like to know the area because we're trying to figure out if we can get some evidence, try to figure out where the body is. All they found was the head. It'd be sure nice to get some closure to have some of these remote viewers, and psychics, bring in some of those guys, try to figure out, what happened,
Yeah, it definitely is. It's one of those very things. I got a joke for you.
Okay, we got my listeners here, so.
Well, it's kind of themed to that a little bit. So I keep it in the vein of what the podcast is about.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, now if you're a ghost, how do you know that your parents really don't like you?
If you're a ghost, how do you know that your parents don't like you?
Yeah, if you're a ghost, how do you know that that your parents really don't like you? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Well, if you're a ghost and you find out, the main reason is that you go looking at the birth certificate and you wonder why you really hate your parents didn't like you. Well, it's because they named you Downey. And there ain't no ghost out there that wants to be called Downey. Believe you me, that's a tough racket.
Downey, like the fabric.
Like Downey pressed the sheets. I'm telling you, no ghost alive wants to get out there, especially as a teenager, trying to get all bad, get the spirit world going. It's tough, man. I mean, it's hard to live that one down.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah? We just scared the hell out of me. Hey, it's Downey. That doesn't sound that scary. It smells good in here, but I don't know. Is this supposed to be all musty? Kind of smelling bad. Supposed to be getting some, green fog floating off you. I mean, I'm really not picking that up with that cold Downey thing.
Would his mortal enemy be a cryptid named Snuggle?
Well, that might be like Papa Annabelle. That might be a sidekick. They might have been a tough wife. The bear had to move on because, Gain took over the freshening world. And so he got hard in his luck. He ran into the edge of the trailer court and said, "Hey, what, bear? You hang with me. You think you got it bad, cute and everything, and fluffy? Well, I'm a ghost, but I'm supposed to scare people. My name's Downey, by the way. Nice to meet you. You want to hang with me?
A ghost named Downey.
That's right. Well, Ted's kind of busy, and plus, well, it costs too much to walk with Ted, So, yeah, well, Snuggle, he's available. He's kind of down on his luck.
Well, you know what a ghost says when he don't believe you? He says, "Boo sheep, boo sheep," because they wear the sheet,
Yeah, well, ghosts really not worried about calories, so I don't think they're going to sell Downey a lot of Ozempic. That's all I got to say. I don't think he's got to worry about that sudden gain. Something tells me.
Nah, not much. Don't have to worry about protein and calories when you're a ghost. In fact, they've done studies when people pass away. They've done studies where they put them on a scale when they die, and everybody loses I think it's 0.23 grams of weight. And then if you're big, small, old, young, everybody loses the exact same amount of weight when they die, and they think that's the weight of the soul leaving the body.
Yeah.
So they don't have to worry about that. They get to the other side. They only weigh 0.23 pounds, whatever, grams. I think it's 0.23 grams.
Probably more to do with the density of the air that they're floating in than it's actually their presence itself, their actual body.
Or what?
So you got to go by air density. Oh, damn, look at that barometer move. Man, I don't know, you get kind of dense there, man.
Or what?
You might have to go to a less humid environment, lose that weight,
Or what dimension? It could be in another dimension, so that could affect their overall weight too. Because once the soul leaves the body, who knows what they talk about dimensional planes. There's different versions of heaven and hell and where you go, and different levels. The levels close to where we are, and then there's once you ascend or descend, then you go to these different levels. And then I've been told sometimes you could become an advisor, or you come back, get reincarnated. That happens. All kind of stuff. They've got all these theories, so we're just out there trying to get answers.
But I got another joke for you. Right? You ready for this one?
We're all anticipating. Lay it on us.
I got another one to roll with Downey here. How can you tell every time? How can you tell every time when a ghost is truly naked? How can you tell every time when a ghost is truly naked?
Well, it would be if you see the apparition and he just looks like a shadow. He don't have no clothes on.
Well, it's real hard. You listen real close. You listen real close. You can always tell the ghost is always naked when you hear that loud flush. You know they gotta be naked because they're using the facilities. That's right. That's how you do that.
Well, either that or they have their pants down. If you hear a flush.
Well, okay, that's partially naked.
There you go.
At least you verify there's some sort of nudity occurring at that time.
Possible, yeah.
Very, very possible.
Yeah,
very possible.
Or they could be doing some other nefarious activity. I've heard of succubus and incubus. People actually having relations with spirits. Anna Nicole Smith was She was one of the most famous. Yeah, Anna Nicole Smith was one of the most famous ones that I read about, and I think Dan Aykroyd had an experience like that too. So a lot of people don't know.
I can haunt her. I'm not dead yet, but I can still haunt her.
Well, she's dead now, so maybe you'll meet her in the afterlife at some point. But,
well, maybe she gets that lonely, she can haunt me. She can haunt me.
Did you hear we lost Chuck Norris recently? And so he's on the other side. I was told when he was called home, he's going to go help help God fight evil. He was needed there. So he told the Grim Reaper to take a break. He's got this.
Yeah. He should just go. He should just put the bandana. I think he tied the bandana on that American bandana. Because I hope he did that. I hope he tied on the bandana that said that American bandana. Because I really don't. I don't think anybody's gonna like him coming back in the afterlife, hearing that thing. Yeah, eyes of the ranger.
Oh, I love that song.
Get that song out of my head.
Oh, I played it 20 times. I played it 20 times when he passed away.
That song I was like, no, he moved on beyond that.
He actually,
He's moved on to the Great Plain.
he actually sang that himself. He's proud of it. Chuck Norris actually sings it. I tried to get my friends to play it Saturday night. Shout out to my friends at the Graveside Manor, Benny Voodoo, Jethro. Those guys, shout out. They put on a hell of a show Friday night up at the Spillway here in Bowling Green. If you guys ever get a chance to get out to the Spillway, they got pretty good chicken wings, drink specials, and they had the talent show. There was some other really good talent there Friday night. We really enjoyed it. So shout out to, I was trying to get one of those bands to play the Walker theme song, but maybe next week. I got some other bands I'm going to be talking to next week. Maybe we can get that Walker song going out there. Yeah, I heard Chuck Norris is going to carry his own casket. And he didn't die. Death came to him.
Casket, and
Yeah.
then he was going to karate chop the hell out of it, make his own firewood, and then he was going to like build a fire, and so he could brew his own coffee out there, and then he was going to like steal that Ghost Rider horse and ride the skeleton all the way across the horizon, you know, until he gets every soul to throw into the Grand Canyon. But that's to come. That's not happening right now. It's just, you know, American badasses, they do things like that. They like long term. Yeah, they do it full tilt. They don't just say, hey, put me in the box, I want to lay in a hole. No. It's way beyond that level. Way more involved in that level. Just gotta lay there, close the lid. I'm gonna lay here until I rot. No, not Chuck Norris.
No.
American badass. He's gonna be doing something.
You know that.
He's gonna be moving. I know that. Yeah.
You know that his they use his whiskers to cut diamonds. Yeah. And then when he was born, he drove himself home from the hospital. And then one time they took some of his urine and put it in a can, and that's what we now know as Red Bull.
Well, the only time Norris ever cried in his life, he'd been stuck in the Mojave Desert for 5 days, and if he didn't cry, he would have died of dehydration. So he had to cry to get the tears so he could drink them. But other than that, I don't think it's ever been reported. But he made himself do that. So you know.
Well, you got any other?
Chuck Norris uses Chuck Norris. When he gets a toothpick, he actually goes into the redwoods and he chops one down with his bare hand. Then takes a twig off of the top of the canopy, and that's just how much of an American badass Chuck Norris is. You don't mess around with that diamond stuff in the little box. He goes right out there and terra firma, knocks it right out of the great unknown of the wilderness. That's right.
Chuck Norris actually invented his own fighting style. Jim Kune Do, when he had his own dojo, he taught a lot of kids and people how to fight. And then, trying to think who it was his. Just reading about his trainer. And then he was a 10th degree black belt, world champion. He also, I think, 6th or 7th degree taekwondo, and he was also a high ranking in jiu-jitsu. So he wasn't just, it wasn't just TV fighting. He was a real deal. He actually won world championships. So, yeah. Shout out to Chuck Norris. He's on the other side now, so maybe somebody will hear from him. I've got a lot of contacts out there in the world that have different, there's psychics, mediums, different devices. Maybe somebody will hear from him. Be cool. You got any other words of wisdom for my listeners?
Well, it's one of the things you want to keep going in life. You don't want anything to really get you down. But hey, that doesn't mean you ain't gonna go through some scary shit.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean it doesn't mean life's gonna be perfect. There's gonna be things happen you don't want happening. But hey, if you keep your wits about you, and you keep yourself from worrying about anything, you are gonna make it, man. It ain't gonna be easy, but you just gotta keep going, man. Even when it's scary. Even when it's scary. You just gotta keep moving, man.
Yeah, because there's a lot of things out there feed off of fear.
That's right. That's right. The devil is down, my brother. The devil is down.
Exactly. Well, we got some comments. Let's see. We got some comments. We got Cindy Sadler and Cindy Gray. We got two different Cindys commenting. They're saying, what do we got here? Hey, Phil Billy and Cindy. And then we got the other Cindy saying, ha ha ha.
They must be with the ghost right now.
I don't know. Shout out to Cindy. She was up there at the investigation last night and got into some briars, also commonly known as wait-a-minutes, or as Jeff calls them, those wait-a-minutes. You get hung into those, you just want to wait a minute. You don't want to move quickly or abruptly. Once the briar has a hold of you, you want to wait a minute. Till that thing, you get loose from it, because next thing you know, you'll be pulling thorns out. Hopefully she's recuperating nicely. She got into some briars yesterday, so hopefully she's doing better.
Well, you just have to get her some barbed wire and throw it out their backyard. So you can practice, without damaging nature. One of those things. Just play with this barbed wire. You can't hurt it. You figure out how to get out of here without, lacerating yourself. You ain't got to worry about cockabur anymore. You be that ninja stealth forest warrior,
Well, she probably just heard that she's going to practice with some barbed wire so she can be a forest warrior. We call her Cindy Lou Who, so Cindy Lou Who's going to be next level forest warrior. Come on.
Yeah. Well, I know that's a new adventure for her, but I don't know. I remember if it's the right one I'm thinking of. Doesn't she also have like a big experience with, Blood Dragon and Complete Darkness? Wasn't there something you tell me about? You was out somewhere and she had to turn around and she went down the side road, and then when she got to the side road, blood, and then the vehicle
she's
the wheels wouldn't even turn on the vehicle.
She's our mud bogger. She got on the wrong road and she got into some water, and the road, it looked like a puddle, but then when you drove into it, it was like mud. But we got her out. But that Honda CRV all-wheel drive, I gotta give it to a Honda Engineering, man. That thing was badass. Once we get that all-wheel drive kicked in, that thing doesn't come out of there.
Well, it's like Monster Jam without the Terran tires. That's one thing she just forgot to put on the right tires. I mean, if she'd have had them 35-inch TSL, she might have had a chance in hell. But, of course, unfortunately, she probably was out there with an all-season radial and wasn't thinking, gosh, I'm going to find mud that's about 1.5 feet deep and, a nice patch that's, not got any dry spots in it. And I'm going to be here for a while. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe she's got Monster Jam potential.
Definitely Monster Jam. Definitely Monster Jam potential.
Where was you at what geography point were you at where you found the sinkhole that where was that at?
It was a forestry road over Land Between the Lakes, but a lot of people don't realize when you go to Land Between the Lakes, your GPS isn't that great. Like a lot of the roads either don't show up. They're supposed to be. It looks like you're driving off road, and a lot of the roads aren't marked. Even on a topographical map, they're not marked real good. And I want to go back. I got a handheld GPS, like for hiking, going out hunting and stuff. I'm going to try it next time. But some guys had that Onyx hunting app, and even it was having trouble, figuring out. Because some of the roads just have a name, and there's, the road signs kind of scares me. And GPS, your cell phone, like you were saying when we were at Red Lake, your cell phone doesn't work real good over there. You can get on a good signal. And there's a lot of stuff that's been shut down. Like they used to have a ferry, it's shut down. So you get on the ferry road, and you get down, there's no ferry. And we got on a couple roads, just drove into the lake. Luckily they had warning signs like drive into the lake. That kind of thing. Road ends in water. If you see a sign that said road ends in water, that's a good time to turn around. Unless you got an amphibious car.
What you to know, all the listeners out there. I think she's going to be better prepared because next time she goes down in that part of the woods, she's going to be in a ram with 3-inch lip and, last 35 inches. She ain't gonna have no problem next time. It's either that or she's going full frame up on the CRV and into their Goodyear, flotation tires. But she's not gonna mess around when she gets back in that stuck position again. She's gonna have something to sling that mud around with. I'm telling you, she's gonna be ready.
Oh yeah, she'll be ready. She's one of the
monster jamming that pedal all the way down.
She's an integral part of our team, so yeah, she'll be ready next time.
That was just a training exercise.
Absolutely,
that's all it was, a training exercise.
Oh yeah,
Survival.
Part of our training, we learned don't trust Google Earth.
You didn't have the waves running, did you? Didn't have the waves going.
I think if we had waves. I might try Waze next time I go down there. But I think Waze would probably show a little park ranger or something or deer.
Maybe your viewers, your listeners, your reviewers of the podcast, they're like, hey, do you think Waze is cool, or do you think Waze is just like people that don't want to pay, tender? So I'm trying to figure that out. Because there are someplace. And there's some people like want to be talking to you like you're driving down the road and stuff because they got the little social connection.
Yeah,
and I'm like, that's fine, that's nice. I said, hey, I'll tell you what, you got a gang there, and you got Marshall there and said, come over the hill with the SWAT team, and and he's got a big length of SWAT out there with semi-auto. You let me know first thing, but I really don't care what color Garfield's tail is sticking on your window. But hey, it's nice. I mean, it's another detail, but I was looking for that.
Yeah, the Waze app, people aren't familiar with it. A little cartoon policeman will pop up and tell you there's a traffic, a policeman sitting there running radar or whatever. And then also, like if there's a pothole, you can get on there and, you could say pothole, and it'll tell everybody where that pothole is. So you be looking for it so you don't, tear up your car. And then it also say car on the side of the road, so you'll know to get over before you get there. So it's pretty useful app, but it also has a social aspect. You see a little cartoon person coming the other way, and they'll be like, hey, it's Hillbilly. Be like, hey, it's Labor Slater. Oh, what's up? Hey, man, there's a cop about 10 miles up. Or, hey, man, careful, there's a wreck. Slow down, there's a wreck. But you can talk to people. But like you're saying, maybe they're like, hey, man, maybe a pilot flying J, and we'll have a coffee, and we'll talk, let's have a talk.
Sometimes, you think that you're still moving while you're doing it. hopefully you're in the passenger seat. Or, riding all the way in the back. But,
If
comments out there like, hey, I really could, like, really great chili dog dark. Just like, I really need a nice fresh bun. You got any fresh bun? Let's draw.
If anybody out there's ever had a hookup from Waze app or encountered anything, if you've ever encountered anything supernatural on the side of the road, or if anybody's seen a ghost on the side of the road or something like that, reported or ever had it reported on the Waze app, or if you met your last wife on a Waze app, we want to hear from you. That'd be pretty interesting.
If she was a cop, but you turned her, and now she's a fun-loving gal who likes to get in the pontoon boat and, make them rooster tails really fly. You definitely got to get on there and think about that. We're always looking for those change your life moments,
Well, you got anything else for my viewers before we move on? I got some other videos here to review.
Well, I'm just here to tell you, give a damn what the groundhog did see or didn't see, because he doesn't actually. Well, he doesn't like the kind of beer I drink. But you guys all stay positive. Keep moving. Don't let it find you standing there. And of course, try to get some fresh air. That always does you a lot of good. So whatever you got to do, we need to get it done at the end of your 70-hour week, or your 84-hour drama mama. Make sure you get yourself about 6-8 hours of fresh air. Does everybody a lot of good. I mean, I can tell you that. Of course, I know the man with the plan sitting there on the podcast. Definitely verify that one.
Absolutely. Fresh air is always good there. Good advice there from Mr. Later Slater over there from Illinois. Come on. Well, hey, brother, we're going to have to let you go. I got a couple more videos to review here, but I do surely appreciate you calling in. I know my viewers appreciated hearing from you, and you'll have to call in again sometime. We really appreciate you, man.
All right, man. Well, get that Monster Jam energy going. And, hey, don't forget to hop me every once in a while.
10-4, Big Daddy. We'll catch you on the flip side.
I need a little bit of cowbell so I can hang out. It's kind of like a reflex. Man.
All right, man. That was one of my friends from Illinois calling us there out on the road. If you're ever in Bloomington, Illinois, and a white pickup truck comes to pick you up for Lyft and give you a ride to the airport, you might just encounter him. And if you're ever in the Bloomington area, you need Lyft, always try to get the guy in the pickup truck if he can get you there safe. All right, this here comes out from this was at a train rail yard, and kind of weird. The train engineer and I don't know if it was a switchman or there are two guys working on this train, and they both passed away. I don't know if it's the same accident or what happened, or if it's related or not related, but this train was basically sitting there by itself. Yeah, check this out.
Footage from an industrial rail yard shows a stationary locomotive parked on a service track. For several minutes, nothing moves. Then suddenly, the headlights power on. Moments later, the engine turns over. The locomotive rumbles to life, idling in the darkness. With no one visible in the cab, the train slowly begins to move forward. It rolls down the track and disappears out of the camera's view. The railway company later reported that the locomotive's primary mechanic and operator had passed away just days earlier.
Both the mechanic and the train operator engineer, and then that train started up on its own. That's kind of creepy. What's up with that? Like, they're still trying to drive that thing. They had unfinished business. They had to get that train in the shop. Here's a very similarly themed, Both of these, either one of these could be AI, but not really certain. But I thought this was interesting. I've seen this video a few times, but this one's interesting. This is a car, and there's no engine in the car. I don't really believe there's a battery or anything in this car. And check this out. They were just saving it for parts.
Security footage from a local scrapyard in Utah shows multiple dismantled cars sitting in the yard. According to the owner, all of the vehicles had their engines removed. They are no longer operational and are being sold strictly for parts. The footage was submitted after something unusual occurred. In the middle of the night, the car parked beside the main building suddenly powers on. The headlights flicker to life, and the sound of an engine turning over can be heard. The vehicle shakes slightly in place, as if it's running, but by all mechanical accounts, that shouldn't be possible.
Kind of reminds me of that movie Christine, Stephen King, with the old Plymouth Fury. Fires up, comes to life, starts killing people. And, one of my favorite shows, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Christine, but it's one of my favorite Stephen King classics. We have got a little bit of UFO action going on here, and they're calling these some kind of red orbs. And then let's do another haunting area. I got a haunting. This is in Kentucky. I haven't been there yet, but I think we're going to have to add this to our to-do list since it's in Kentucky, and we like to do stuff local, so save on cost and whatnot. And check this out, Oak Grove Bridge.
Do you know about the Ghost Bridge in Oak Grove?
In the quiet town of Oak Grove, Kentucky, nothing ever seems out of the ordinary until you cross the bridge. Ghost Bridge.
What do you mean it's not ready? This is outrageous. We need to tear down that bridge. Handle it now. This small town has seen darkness.
That's a trailer for the locally produced horror film inspired by Oak Grove history called Ghost Bridge. It's directed by Oak Grove filmmaker Lee Joshua Robles Sanchez, and the movie is said to be based on local accounts dating back to the 60s. Now, Sanchez says the movie adapts those stories and also adds some fictional elements. So have you driven over the Ghost Bridge?
I don't know if I've driven over that or not. I have to look at my map. I've been to Oak Grove, Kentucky, but I'd like to see that movie when it comes to Ghost Bridge. That looks pretty good, especially if they got some of the actual historical stuff thrown in. Awesome. To check that out. I got a missing persons story, and it revolves. This guy's a remote viewer. I've watched some of his interviews before, and it's just really interesting how he uses his abilities to help find a lost child. I've got a couple other missing persons type cases I would really like to get a hold of this guy or somebody with his abilities. Check this out. It's pretty cool what he does. He helps find this little missing child.
I got a call at like 2 in the morning from the female police chief, and she called me at 2 in the morning and said, we have a missing 5-year-old, and I understand you help with this sort of thing. I said, so what you want me to do is tell you where to go to find the kid? Yes. I said, okay. Do you know what a compass rose is? And she said, yeah. I can't remember the degrees. I said, on the compass rose, you want to go to the last place he was seen. On the compass rose, you want to go to a certain degree, and you would take, I think it was 125 or 129 steps. I can't remember now. A specific number of steps. And when you get there, stop and just yell his name out, and he'll probably respond. And it turns out the guy she sent to do that came back and said, there's no reason to do that. I can tell you right now, you're not going to find a kid that way. And she said, why not? And he said, because I went to a class where I was taught by the FBI on this. Kids under age 10 never go uphill. So she called me back, woke me up the second time. And I said, yeah, what now? And she said, my deputy told me that it's straight up the side of the mountain And a kid would never do that. Just go do what I told you. And I slammed the phone down and got back in bed. And she woke me up again like 15 minutes later. And she said, we found him. And I said, thank you. Have a good night. I hung up. Detective went up the mountain, stopped right behind the cabin and yelled his name. And he sat up and said, what?
Wow. He seemed pretty confident there that they were going to find him. Kind of annoyed that they didn't follow his instructions. So I don't know. Maybe that's the kind of guy we need on some of these cases. If anybody knows how to get a hold of that guy, that'd be great to have him on the show, or we could get him involved in some of these missing cases. There's one that's been going on for about 6 years now. South Paducah over to Tyler Hines, Samantha Sperry case. One's very close to our friend Jennifer on our team. She's over in West Virginia now, full Reiki master. Shout out to Jennifer. And anyway, we'd like to get some remote viewers on the case because it's been, I think it's about 6 years now, and still unsolved. Family would like to get some closure. And let's see here. My last video will be kind of a UFO type video, and these are some red orbs that they're experiencing. Shout out to Philip Gia for that video. I was thinking ball lightning. That was a bunch of them. Think maybe some kind of electric problem, but kind of unlikely that many transformers going out. They're all different, like red orbs, and then they just kind of, the way that it was moving almost looked to me like it was electric going down an electric line. But I don't know, that was pretty wild. Yeah, shout out to friend there, Slater calling in. We got a comment. Looks like it's Cindy here. She's like saying, "That's crazy. Come on, that's crazy." And then we got another comment. Wow. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Wow. But appreciate our commenters, everybody who's watching, calling in. Prayers go out to the Norris family. We lost Chuck Norris, also known as Ray. His real name's Ray. A lot of people didn't know that. And Cindy here commenting, balls of lightning. It could be, but I don't. All of them are red, and they just kind of like all pop up simultaneous and pop around. So that was pretty crazy. But I think that's about all I got this week. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Y'all try to have a safe week. We got some more storms, bad weather coming in tonight. Everybody stay safe. And we'll try to give you an update next week. If we go out and check our trail cams, do some more investigating, maybe do some other investigating this week. Our next big one is going to be in April up in Owensboro. So we're looking forward to that. But y'all have a good one. Come on. Appreciate you tuning in.